Okay, this is Charles. 80. He's 85. And what years were you in the Army? 80.
88.
Oh, 88. Okay, he's 88 years old. And what years were you in the Army?
I don't know what you're saying.
What years were you in the Army?
Huh?
What years were you in the Army?
1952 to 55. 3 years.
Guess
I got out in April
I'll show
55.
this here. What do you think the purpose of life is?
Purpose of life is to accomplish something and do the best you can to leave it better than you found it. Leave the world a little better shape than you found it.
Is there any particular meaning that you would put to that?
No, then you just live your life and you live it for whatever you want to live it for. For wealth, or you want to be poor, you can be poor. It's a choice.
When you do the right thing, is it more likely to be out of love, or doing good, or pleasing God, or personal enjoyment, or pleasure,
Do what now?
or the hope of the results of your deeds, or the fear of the consequences of not doing the right, or hate for doing the wrong, or even for those who wouldn't do the same? When you do the right thing, why?
What hope for the results of your deeds? Hopes are that they'll have an easier life. To pick up the consequences of not doing the right. Well, if you fail, you don't do what's right, you're going to fail. Or hate for doing the wrong, or even those should do the same.
What do you think happened to you before your birth? What do you think happened to you before this life?
For the self.
Before this life, before you were born and such, do you think
I
anything?
don't know. Interception, from interception, I don't think you exist till you're born.
Is there anything particular you believe about the afterlife?
I've never talked to anyone that's come back from the afterlife. All I have to believe is what people make out it to be. I've never talked to anyone that's come back from the dead. Have you?
Can't say
I don't know if
can't
anybody
say
else
have
that
I.
has. Yet they got all these ideas about what happens after death. They don't know any more about it than I do. Because no one has ever come back and give us a report. And after death is just a belief of what you want it to be.
How
There's
much?
no such thing as after death. So I never answered that question because there's no such thing, no such animal. Do you know anybody that's ever come back from the dead?
No, people come close to dying, but they haven't
Yeah,
come back from the
sometimes
death.
they have
Yeah.
kids that said they come back, they was dead, they came back, but I have never talked to anyone that came back from the dead.
The thing is that they've thought for the longest time, if you don't notice anybody breathing, they're dead, and then they find out that that's sometimes not true. And if the heart stops,
A lot of times.
sometimes they test someone at the hospital and they wake up in the morgue, and even their brain stopped, and they somehow get up in that thing in the morgue, and So when it exactly happens, what do you believe about God?
What do I?
What do you believe about God, or what do you think the term
Well,
God
I believe
means?
God exists, and if you believe in Him, He can help you. If you don't believe in Him, it's no help for you. It's just like believing in anything else. You believe in what you please.
What sort of things do you think would be hard to do in the name of God?
What sort of things what?
What sort of things do you think would be difficult to do in the name of God?
In what?
In God's name, what do you think would be difficult to do?
Oh, I don't think asking God for things is a personal matter. I don't think it's anything that you could say about what other people asked Him. They have their opinions and I have mine.
How much and of course, I'm asking your opinions. So, how much time do you think should be spent on spiritual practice or religious practice on a weekly basis?
I don't know. That's an individual thing. I think about God all day, and some people don't ever think about Him. So it's individual basis. Some people devoted an hour, probably thought to Him, and some people broke 24 hours. I believe He exists 24 hours a day.
Do you have any favorite attributes of God?
Huh?
Do you have any favorite attributes or names of God that you
No.
use? Do you ascribe any limits to God?
Do what?
Do you ascribe any limits to God?
Do I call on the name of God?
No, like for example, some would say that God has all power, all knowledge, and is everywhere, and some people say not quite with one or all of those. So,
Well, I believe He has all the powers you can ask for.
and have you had what you would consider to be a spiritual experience?
No.
Do you ever remember dreams, or have you remembered dreams?
Not often. I have had a few through my life, but not often. I don't dream much. I dreamed more a few months back than I had in my lifetime.
Have you witnessed what you would consider to be a miracle?
Have I witnessed what?
Have you witnessed what you consider to be a miracle?
I don't know what you said.
Have you witnessed a miracle?
Have I witnessed a miracle? Well, several of them.
Is there an example that you would like to give?
Uh-huh.
Is there a particular sort of example that you would like to give?
Well, when I was sick, I prayed about it, and went away, and the doctors couldn't find anything wrong with me. That was a miracle. And this is like that. I've had several of them.
Have you experienced prophecy?
Have I done what?
Have you experienced prophecy?
I don't believe I have. I've read a lot about it. I read about prophecy, but I don't know that I've ever experienced it.
Have you had an experience where it seems like you have left your body?
Right? It seems like what?
Like you've left your body?
No.
Have you had deja vu?
Uh,
Deja vu, like you're going about your day or something, and you feel like you've experienced before, like you've had that
some
experience
days
before.
What you asked is, some days I feel like I've already been there, but done that before. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess I've experienced that.
While you're praying or otherwise, have you ever heard or seen a strange or unusual sort of light inside you or outside you? Or
No.
I said, did I ask about sound? Did you hear any sound like that?
Do I?
Like some people hear a still small voice or that sort of thing. Have you ever?
If I ever what now?
Have you ever heard such a sound, like either it was music that wasn't physical, or you hear a still small voice, or?
Well, some of my family has said they had experiences, but as if that's what you're asking, yes.
Have you had what you consider to be intuition?
Do what?
Have you had what you consider to be intuition?
It's considered to be a question.
Intuition.
No.
Have you experienced what you would consider to be divine emotion?
I don't think so. I've heard some people that had a pretty good convincing story about their sin, but I haven't experienced it.
Have you had awareness as if you were being guided in I mean, other than just reading something or that sort of thing, as if you were personally being spiritually guided?
I don't think so.
Have you felt a presence of such a thing?
Have I done what?
Have you ever felt a presence of such a thing?
No, I don't think so.
Do you anything? You say you think of God. Is there anything particular that you do out of a spiritual connection?
What now?
You said that you think of God. Is there anything else in particular that you do out of a spiritual connection?
Not right off the top of my head, I can't.
Have you had any amazing realizations or connections?
I don't really think so. I thought sometimes I did, but I don't think so.
Have you experienced anything else that you would consider to be holy?
No, I don't think so.
Are there any particular are there any particular beliefs or practices that you think you have that others don't have?
I don't think so.
Okay, I guess this is it with my questions.